gentlemen, comrades and friends, once again we meet a day after the presentation of the 2019 budget statement. It is important that we quickly look at what was delivered in yesterday's statement, the delivery, the presentation that was made to Parliament. Comrades and friends, one of the very opening statements that were made yesterday, it was a statement to the effect that there cannot be any meaningful development that excludes the people. And indeed, we agree to that statement. There can never be any meaningful development in any country, including Zimbabwe, without the involvement of the teachers. So we were quite concerned yesterday, following through the presentation that was made in the budget statement for 2019. As the Zimbabwe Teachers Association, we have made a few quick observations at face value. We are aware that more detailed analysis are going to be made, and this will be presented to you as more meetings are going to be held. But at face value, what we realize is that we are having a budget once again that is characterized by austerity. It is a budget of austerity. They are talking about austerity for prosperity. But what we know about austerity is that austerity measures are characterized by cuts. Austerity measures are characterized by a reduction of whatever expenditures. Austerity measures are not good for the education system and are not good for the teachers. One good example is where we realize with concern that the way the 2018 bonus is going to be calculated excludes the traditional allowances, which is housing and transport allowance. Effectively, what it means is that while the 2018 bonus is going to be paid before the end of the year, it is going to be half of what we are used to, because this will be excluding housing and transport allowance. This has been done unilaterally. This was never agreed to, and this is not acceptable. This is one demonstration that there are going to be cuts in the system, and any cuts to our wages, to our salaries, to our remuneration is not acceptable. The presentation also talks about the cuts, 5% cuts on the salaries of the senior civil servants. Yes, the majority of us, the people we represent, the teachers and different officials that we represent, are not in the category of the senior civil servants. But where we sit and where we stand, we do not celebrate salary cuts. Nobody deserves to have their salaries cut. So these cuts are not going to help have an efficient and effective public service. The other thing that we would like to look at is where the government is talking about implementing some of the findings and recommendations in the 2011 and 2015 civil service audits. You will remember some of these recommendations and findings are the ones that resulted in the teachers losing their leave. For 2 to 3 years, we were not able to go on leave, until finally this was rescinded following the processes that we went through legally and the activism that you remember you all participated in that brought back the leave. But of importance, it will be important to find out when they finally unpick the envelope that has been given to education. It is important that we look out for an allocation which is going to enable a teacher to proceed on leave or to elect or make an option of cash in lieu of leave. This is the only way that we will celebrate and say that they have finally solved the leave issue. There has to be a budgetary allocation through the envelope that has been given to the Ministry of Education to facilitate and enable that. The other thing is where they talk about ghost workers in the civil service. It's true. One of the things that we have to collaborate with government in doing is to make sure that the civil service, teaching in particular, is not invaded by people who are not employed as teachers or who are not supposed to be employed as civil servants. Because what that does is that it affects the money that is allocated for our wages. So yes, we agree. Let's move on. Let's go to the next stage and remove these ghost workers. There are suggestions that are made that all the civil servants, including all the teachers, are going to be registered anew using a biometric system. We are in agreement. A biometric system is the most modern 21st century way of managing human resources. But mark my word, mark the word of the Zimbabwe Teachers Association, because once bitten, twice shy. We have seen when these national activities are taking place, that time and again, teachers are subjected to very bad conditions and their rights violated. You remember the time when the audit was taking place? Teachers and officers were detained for long hours, sometimes at night, waiting for officials who were going to be carrying out these activities. So before these activities can be carried out, we would like to sound a warning that there has to be effective engagement with the leaders of the Zimbabwe Teachers Association and other organizations in the civil service to make sure that this is going to be done professionally, to make sure that this will not amount to victimizing teachers or anybody who is the subject. This has to be carried out professionally. It is also in our interest that we have the correct numbers and we have the correct data of who is the bona fide teacher, who is the bona fide civil servant. We are not going to be celebrating cuts. We are not going to be celebrating austerities. So we will be looking out. There is an envelope that has been given to education, and it is top of the list, so they say. So what we are waiting for now, we are waiting for that envelope that has been given to education to be parceled out. Ordinarily, this is done through the National Joint Negotiating Council sessions. It has to be parceled out in a way that it enables the teacher to get a cost of living adjustment. You will remember the surge in inflation that occurred in September, in October. You will remember how our salaries have been eroded, and now our salaries are meager at around $100 per month. So we are looking forward with keen interest to the next sitting of the National Joint Negotiating Council to see what that parcel, what that envelope holds for us in terms of a cost of living adjustment. The state of the teachers has been communicated to us as the Zimbabwe Teachers Association, and I would like to reiterate that. Teachers are incapacitated. That message has come through. So the hope was hinged on this budget to see what it is going to provide for us. So these are the initial observations that we have made. So the next step that we are going to be taking as the Zimbabwe Teachers Association is to deploy all our staff and to deploy all our organizers and all our leaders to go back to the grassroots. Fortunately, this is coinciding with the annual general meetings that we are going to be having in each of our 10 provinces. We are going to make use of this to consult our membership, to find out the final position that we are going to take as schools open next year in January. It is important that we sound this warning to government early enough that the message of incapacitation has already been declared by the Zimbabwe Teachers Association. You have time between now and the day when this budget statement has to be adopted by government to make adjustments to this budget so that you cater for a cost of living adjustment, so that you clarify the value of the teacher's salary. The question is, how much is the teacher earning in US dollars? The presentation of the budget yesterday did not come clear on this. Our reading of the budget statement is not explicit on this. Is our salary in US dollars? Is our salary based on an RTGS? What is the value of that salary in US dollars? These are the questions that have to be answered. These things have to be made clear. Because as we speak, the teacher cannot buy food, the teacher cannot travel. These two, food and transport costs, have been cited as the major drivers of inflation. And these two, the teacher cannot eat, the teacher cannot travel, the teacher cannot go to work, the teacher is incapacitated. Thank you.